Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I want to talk a little bit about something that the other Peter, the bum 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 Peter, talked about yesterday or 2 days ago on his show. He was talking about the auto workers striking, and he mentioned how a big reason they have to ask for this pay raise of 10 or so percent is just to keep up with the dollar losing 10% of its value, right? They're still going to be making a whole lot less gold, a whole lot less silver, a whole lot less bismuth than they were making 4 years ago, even if they do get the 10% dollar raise, right? So old school Dave says, I hate Mondays. No, it's not so much the Mondays I hate. I'll get to that in a second. I really love what I do for a living, and I really love a lot of things. Even as much as I sometimes get angry with people on the road during my commute, as much as I sometimes gesture at people, I don't necessarily hate the commute. I'll get to what I actually hate in a second. So the other discussion with the auto workers is that they want to work uh, 32 hours in the week instead of 40. I got to point out something. I don't really like to think about my work output by how many hours, right? You can do 50 hours of bullshit, or you could do 30 hours of really good work, right? So for example, I had a very frustrating experience actually. I was working on my PhD, and I was naive at the time. I was looking for gigs to do on Craigslist, and this guy he needed a tutor for I think it was calculus or something, a high school student, and he had three more days, 3 days he was available until the exam, and he was thinking about hiring somebody an hour each day for those 3 days. Okay, and so I talked to his dad, and we scheduled that out. And after two of the sessions, his dad calls me and says that he got everything he needed. He's ready for the test. He doesn't need to come that third day. And I'm thinking to myself, did I just get fired for doing a really good job? That was odd, right? I mean, it wasn't a whole lot of money, but it was still disappointing. Um, Now that I've had time to think about this, if I had a son who needed tutoring and I ran into that situation, I'd probably still pay for that third session even if I didn't need it. Because if I hired an average tutor paying the average rate that I were, I'd still have to pay, and I might not get as much as I get from a good tutor, right? And plus, I'm still saving time, right? Not having to deal with that third session, right? So the United Auto Workers Association, it kind of reminds me of that situation, right? Um, don't talk about how much time, right? What they should have did was said that we produce X cars per week or per month or something like that, right? Um, what they what they should have done is negotiated. If we can produce this many cars at a more efficient rate, right? Can we do it? Can we do that, right? Not, oh, can I work 32 hours instead of 40, right? It's just really frustrating that we count hours. It really is. The other thing is that I really strongly, Peter, dislike how we live in a society where even having time to catch your breath has become a luxury good. Let me give you an example. You guys know that I've been working on binge eating problems for the last 4 years. Now, I got a very lucky jackpot. I made the resolution to normalize my relationship with food back in early 2020. You got to remember what it was like back then, right? We were excited about a new decade, and we had just experienced a number of government shutdowns, but we were doing really well in terms of the economy, right? It was one of those times where, oh my God, the economy is overheating, and I'm doing so well, but I got all these personal problems, And so it really inspired me to normalize my relationship with food because I wanted to do some more traveling. I had just tried to go to Macau that past summer. I had a miserable time because I didn't really like being away from my favorite foods, right? The economy was doing well. We were going to go on vacation more in the coming years, and I wanted to free myself from that. Well, all of that changed two months later. One day I go to the grocery store and all my favorite food is sold out. There's no toilet paper, and I'm like, I'm so glad that I'm a little bit freer from all this than I was 2 months ago, and now I'm really free to enjoy trying out new foods and all that. And also we started working from home. Now, what I really, Peter, liked about working from home is that I was more free to with my eating timing. See, part of the problem with working in the office is that, let's say, I got a class tonight actually from starting at 4 o'clock. Let's say it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and I still hadn't eaten, and I really could go on that fast, but I gotta take into account that I have to work later, and it forces me to eat. Right? I really dislike that. Right? So what the UAW could have done is to negotiate more flexible meal times and all that, more flexible. Even if they do have to work 40 hours, have the 40 hours be more floating, right? Whenever my body decides is best to work, I'll probably produce more cars if my body is more ready to work, right? Obviously, I can't do that with a whole classroom of students. It would drive them crazy if I call them at 2 a.m. Hey, now's a good time for the class, right? Obviously, that's not going to work, right? What might work is to be more flexible about our policies of eating in the classroom. Right? That might be okay, but still, it's messy to eat in the classroom. I wouldn't condone that, but you get the idea, right? Flexibility, timing. What's really frustrating is that one day I had just had a really frustrating experience, like with not being able to find my classroom, and I was running late. I get to the second campus, and I just wanted to catch my breath and cry a little bit in the car. I have just listen to some music. I have a CD of my favorite artist. She basically taught me how to speak Polish. I mean, the first Polish words I ever learned were her songs, and I just wanted to listen to some music, cry a little bit. And I didn't even have time to do that, and I had to run into the classroom. Just very frustrating. Same thing with the art show. The art show wouldn't be so annoying if it had its more flexible time, and or if it happened more often, right? And I could choose what day or what time I wanted to do it. And if I want to start making art out of something a little bit less heavy, maybe aluminum, because weight has been another issue, right? The other day when I hurt myself moving my art, it made me think about aluminum again. And so we got at the campus, we have so many recycle bins full of aluminum cans, right? That would be really convenient as well. I'll give it a try at some point. Uh, but see what's really frustrating about all this is that I really love all of my work, the art, the teaching, the tutoring gigs that I find online. I live in a very beautiful part of town in terms of the commute. What's really frustrating is that our time should not be a luxury, right? It almost feels like it costs money just to spend our own fucking time that God has given us, right? We shouldn't live in a society that looks like that, right? That's very disrespectful to God. It's disrespectful to our species. It might even be disrespectful to our future generation. If you have children and the idea of taking care of them has become a luxury, and just very frustrating. I love to do everything that I do, but at a slower pace. Let's put it that way. Also, this whole returning to the office policy, I think it's just completely backwards. I was just reading. Fortunately, I don't work for him anymore. But Michael Bloomberg was. I used to work for him. Was talking about how people are playing golf more ever since they work from home. How about you tell me about how they're actually performing at their work, right? If playing golf is how you come up with the best Bloomberg terminal in the world, play golf. If playing golf is how you come up with interesting ideas to teach, then please play golf. I'm serious about that. Do whatever it takes, right? Even if it's unconventional, even if it looks fun, right? Especially if it looks fun, because then you might want to do it more, right? All right, this is the Heat or Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Heat or Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.